Hi, this is Robert over at Capital Retail. This video channel is dedicated to all things related to commercial real estate, property management, and leasing. We specialize in properties located in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Today's topic is the Certificate of Occupancy. I wanted to share with you the critical components when you're going to lease a property. If you're the tenant, you want to be aware of what the current Certificate of Occupancy reads. And if you're a landlord, while it may not be your exact responsibility, I think it's good practice, good best practices to let the tenants know exactly what the certificate of occupancy is and isn't, what it covers when they first lease the property. So I'm going to give you a example right here of an issue that we're dealing with right now. And the certificate of occupancy is for Washington, D.C. It looks like this. It's issued by DCRA, the Department of Consumer and Regulatory Affairs, and is for the basement and first floor only. And they give you the occupancy load, 132 people, and it's based on a square footage and some other things that it's related to. So this is a certificate of occupancy, also known as a C of O, that is required by all businesses to have available and shown at their place of business. This particular tenant signed a lease thinking that they had the top floor, and I'm showing you a picture of the top floor available to them to lease. And in fact, they went over a year having people up in this level, not knowing that the certificate of occupancy was not for this top floor, which seems unusual, but is the case. And so they've had to shut down the top floor and not be able to do any business because what happened was the liquor board came in and said, look, at your certificate of occupancy is not for this floor. I cannot allow you to serve any more alcohol, cannot allow not allow to have people up here. They have subsequently come to us as the property manager said, look, at the tenant has come to us and said, we need help getting this certificate of occupancy modified to include the top floor. Well, there's companies that are out there that can help with this project. It's more involved than just a property manager helping out with some paperwork, because you're going to have an engineering survey. You're going to have base building drawings done. You're going to have permit drawings done. You're going to have to look at what the occupancy is for the HVAC. All of these things have to be done in order to get the updated certificate of occupancy completed. It's no small task. It can be done, but this is going to be about $30,000 to go through this process. Now, once it's done, there's going to be an added value to the landlord because the occupancy level has gone up and therefore more people can occupy the property legally. And to the tenant, there's obviously an inherent benefit of being able to lease and use the top floor. But it's something that we come across fairly often, shockingly, that the certificate of occupancy is not reviewed by tenants and sometimes not landlords before property is released. And it's an important component to be aware of because it really drives the ability of the tenant, especially, of course, in the retail world, in the restaurant world, in the bar business, how much business you can do. So if you're limited, you're not going to be able to pay rent. You're going to be asking for rent abatement from the landlord. The landlord may or may not give it. And it starts a whole cycle of issues that come up. So, in summary, look at the certificate of occupancy, be aware of what it can allow and what it cannot allow. Ask the questions of the landlord. Landlords, engage with the property manager, send them this information if they're a new property manager so they have the C of O on file. If you guys have any questions on anything related to certificate of occupancy and leases, feel free to give us a call, 202-319-2884, Robert at capitalretail.com. And if you like these types of videos, hit the up arrow, if you will, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing. And we really appreciate it because it helps us continue to give you more content, fresh content done weekly.